We got ourselves team 1 full of them casters. We got ourselves Arcanite on the Warlock playing, I think, the Destruction with Facile on the Demonology. We got ourselves Mega Dragon as a Feral Druid, going to be first up, charging out versus Anthrax Blade, the Fury Warrior, opening up with a big old raid. Going to be immediate human racial out of Anthrax, though. Try to see if he can stop Mega Dragon from really getting himself a big reset. Try to go for the most amount of bleeds out there. Mega Dragon popping off the bark skin and is hoping to kind of maybe hide behind the pillar and let himself get a bit of recovery. Look for a bit of them rejuvenations as he's trying to see if he can fight through the little bit of bleed damage that a Fury Warrior can do. Not the biggest bleeds in the world, at least compared to a Feral, as Anthrax dump up a lot of his offensive cooldowns. It's going to be a short stop, but Mega Dragon, as he got himself full incarnation, potentially big damage for the Feral Druid, as he got himself big bites out of Anthrax, massive output. Anthrax looking for full recovery, does go for enraged regen, trinket out of Mega Dragon as he can save with the Stormbolt, and Anthrax is still under a ton of pressure, does get to catch up with Mega Dragon for just a second. Lots of damage out by the Fury Warrior, as long as he can stay on top of Dragon the entire time. He'll be in a fantastic position. Try to go for a bit of a leap, maybe to get himself a reposition. We'll definitely need to find a way to deny the Feral Druid any kind of openers, because those bleeds, those bites with a root to follow right after could be very, very, very deadly. He's going to go for a fear before Mega Dragon can really get himself a proper opener. Does give Anthrax an opportunity to at least have a bit of a go. That's going to be a Stormbolt, but he is going to have to be very, very extra careful with those thorns, because every one of his attacks, he's just going to end up reflecting damage back to him with that nature hits. Does go for the leap. That's going to be a stun trinket out of for Anthrax, so does give himself a little bit of survivability, potentially. Needs himself a big heal. As the root comes out, man, it's kind of melting out here in the open. Does he have any much survivability whatsoever? That's going to be a stun, but Mega Dragon is completely DR'd. Couldn't really get himself a proper good go there. Big bleeds are out by Anthrax. Does he have enough to finish it? That's no help whatsoever. Does the Fury... Oh, the Fury Warrior turns it around. I honestly thought the Feral Druid had it there. I honestly thought the Feral Druid was just going to end up toppling the man, but Anthrax does survive it. As Dalaran is going to be up next, trying to give this man as much of an duel as Dalaran, standing on top is Elemental Prowler. Looking like a Primalist himself right here. Look at that man, dude. Look at all red. Actually giving Anthrax a bit of an honor duel. Charging out towards Anthrax, hitting him with a Stormbolt. I swear to God, I'm lagging because you guys are kind of zooming all over the place, man. Could be me, could be the EU servers. I feel like it's me, though. Double charge onto both the Warriors as Dalaran got himself a little bit of damage. Disarm onto Anthrax as he got himself a defensive. Anthrax wants to go for as much healing as possible. Fury Dalaran is able to break out of it with a Zerk and catching him as he goes in for a leap. Stormbolt, Dalaran took us out of it immediately. Does Anthrax have any ways to catch back up with Dalaran? And it looks like Anthrax is bleeding out somehow. Still bleeding. As long as you can keep him bleeding, as long as you keep Anthrax hurting, taking some kind of form of damage, you will deny him any kind of reheal. Gonna be that human racial break it out of a Stormbolt. Anthrax looking to catch back up all that health that he's due. Gonna be a banner, I think, down by Dalaran, trying to reach whatever stuns and ACC that Anthrax got, and the Fury Warrior just able to bloodthirst off of the Arms Warrior. Got himself a big bleed. Did I catch up to Cello? I think that actually did connect. I think the bleed is there. Stormbolt right after. Does Anthrax have enough to finish him off here? Dalaran could be in a big trouble. Parry is at the ready. I don't know if Dalaran, he is playing, what is it? Ignore Pain. So he is playing Ignore Pain, able to offset a lot of damage. Mad burst on Anthrax, maybe in a bit of trouble. The man looking for the recovery does let him get himself a little bit more health to work with. Might need to go for a Battle Master Trick to give himself a little more health. Dalaran has him in execute range, but this could take him down. Leap away by the Fury Warrior, does go for Heroic Leap. That's going to be charged. Oh, Anthrax thought maybe he could reconnect, get himself a quick heal, and take him out right then and there. With huge Buttman going to be up next, charging on his big old Krog. This is going to be a Shadow Mill for Dalaran, trying to get himself that second win, but huge is going to be able to force him out in the open with a Thunderstorm. That's going to be a Stormbolt. Dalaran trying to see if he can break that totem, maybe break out of those roots. Reflect upwards is huge. Huge, as long as he puts pressure on the guy, he'll be okay. Fear onto the Shaman, as Dalaran is looking to bail out of there, trying to go whatever he can in order to get himself a little bit of healing to work with. If he can get out and let the Flame Shock fall off, the second one can take over and start letting him recover just a little bit. But he's got it in a pincer maneuver, because you got the Fire Elemental on one side, Shaman on the other. Just try to see if you can avoid him. You are still burning right now. The slow is up on you with Lava Burst flying in. Dalaran trying to see if he can charge back in, give himself a little bit of heal to work with. Banner down, does get himself a little bit of recovery. Fire Elemental is kind of down for the count. Stormbolt on the huge, big damage available for Dalaran. Knocked back by the Thunderstorm, but looks like maybe wants to go for that ladder side. He's trying to either go for cover or for damage. He's fine with either one. Huge with an Earth Shock. Dalaran charging out, mad damage with a Bleach of Fall as an Arms Warrior. Trying to see, he's literally a Fury Warrior with a two-hander, dude. He's so furious like a Fury Warrior. Massive blender, Bladestorm, has himself super close. That's going to be Dalaran, no help whatsoever. I set us up for a huge butt menace. He does get himself a meaty PvP proc. Dalaran got no health. Huge got a little bit of health as well. Stormbolt to follow on that last knockback. It's going to be charged back. Does Dalaran have enough into a reflect? Huge might have been maybe in a bit of trouble. Into a big Colossus Smash. Does he survive this? Oh! I think it's either it was a weapon throw or a bleed that did end up taking him down. Big Damn is going to be up next. I think it's a Bliv, right? Going to be back-to-back hits by Big Damn. Try to see if he can keep Dalaran super low. As long as he keeps him tagging, eventually Dalaran is going to fall apart. It's going to be Dalaran with a bit of a reflect. Charge out towards Big Damn. Does go for a bit of a heal. Stormbolt, Big Damn does not want to react to this one just yet. Dalaran leaping away. Does the man have a Shadow Meld? Actually, he has a Shadow Meld very, very soon. If he can somehow escape Big Damn and just go for the Shadow Meld, there's no way you don't know where he's at. Ring of Fire? Oh, is going to connect. Does singe him a little bit. Surrounded by the elements itself. Can't really fight it. He does try to see if he can stay mounted. If he can just stay away from Big Damn, but the man is going to go for the blinks, chipping away at his health. He doesn't even need to do a lot of damage. As long as he can chip away at Dalaran's health, as long as he keeps that health under pressure, it prevents Dalaran from being able to properly heal himself, because he does have that second wind. If you can just stay out of combat for a little bit, you could really catch up. Dalaran catching up with the Warlock Hellstone too may give him a bit of an opportunity here. The Arms Warrior is doing everything he can in order to stay in this game as best possible. Big Damn with a poly. All the time ready. So Big Damn got himself that recovery in case he's in trouble. Gonna be a miss intro by Dalaran, maybe in a bit of trouble. Does get knocked back into the Ring of Fire. And Big Damn is going to be able to go for all the time. Blink right after that Nova as a warrior goes in for a charge. Blade Storm to follow. Big Damn kind of limited on what he can really do. Wants to go for the big Glacier Spike. Warbreaker is up. That's going to do a ton of damage. Big Damn trying to see if he can get out of there. Leaving Dalaran rooted in place for this moment. Reflect up for Dalaran. Mad damage reversal back into Big Damn. Is going to be a bleed to follow. Big Damn can still be in trouble just from the bleed alone. Leaping right in. Ice Block to follow. Is able to remove the bleed, but doesn't really have a lot of health recovery. Does Big Damn break out of the Ice Block early? You have to, at some point, try to see if you can land up a big old glacial onto this warrior. He is very, very limited what he can do. Banner down, so he's going to keep those roots and the slows a little bit less efficient. Big Damn got himself all the time, got himself super, super low. Dalaran has a charge ready for him. Big Damn with an miss just really quickly on. It's going to be second charge by the warrior to follow. Frostbolt after, shift the power to get some cooldown reduction, barely avoiding the warrior, barely staying alive. Trying to go for a Nova, doesn't really do anything. Into a Breath of Fire, into a Ring of Frost, does get frozen, does interrupted. Doesn't have interrupted it though. Ring of Fire is gonna go for a charge. Stormbolt right after, but he's frozen right next to him. Oh, looks like the freeze somehow breaks, maybe to a tick of fire, and Dalaran does end up fighting the next one versus Alistair this time as a Frost DK runs in, looking for a big obliterate. Dalaran has a trick for it, got himself the full battle stance ready, parry up to follow, maybe can reverse damage back to Alistair. Mad burst, mad crits on Alistair too. Blind as the DK is playing it super defensive. He's the one with offensives. And Dalaran just trying to see if he can counter pressure him. Into a disarm immediately. Alistair is very limited on what he can do. Definitely will need to go for as much defense as possible. And it's going to be a bad sacrifice immediately, but at 57% dampening, not much he can really do for you. Big bleeds up with Alistair as the man just goes down. Dalaran just continues to fight through all of them. Back to back, just is unstoppable. But Tags is going to be up next. As the man is trying to see if he can potentially fight the Tal. Honestly, with Affliction, just load him up full of dots. I don't think there's much you can really do about it. There's nothing that a warrior can do. You need to be able to peel away from a guy for just a moment in order to be able to get any kind of healing. So Dalaran is just under pressure the entire time. Has to get aggressive. He realizes this. The warrior realizes his position. He needs to stay super aggressive with Tagsy. Tagsy playing the defensive. He just needs to run out the clock. That is a banner down for the warrior. I think it's going to give him a little bit of value on the slows. Maybe reduce the amount of the value on the slows. Dalaran no help whatsoever. I don't know what you can do. Defensive stance, or at least reduce the tick rate over those dots. Trying to go for whatever healing you can. You can maybe lock down Tagsy with a Stormbolt. Potentially can have himself a big go. Does go for a little bit of health recovery. Fury to follow. Lock it down Tagsy as best as you can. Into a full Warbreaker, maybe big damage, full bleeds on Tagsy, maybe that'll be enough there. Charging and follow. Oh, Dalaran does recover. Oh my god, this man. Oh my god. This Arms Warrior pulled it back, boys. Walked in. One Arms Warrior versus an entire team of casters, melee, and the man came out on top. Warriors, man.